Well, I don't know how many years on this earth I got left. I'm gonna get real weird with it.
All right, who is ready for some sci fails that are just this is off the charts sci fails? Something I never thought a video title and a topic I never thought I would cover ever. So thank you so much for being here. We are going to be looking at. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on just a sec. We'll get you back. We'll get you back. There we go. And then we're going to pull this up. So check this out. Oh, stop it. This is, the channel is called RFTKOHIAH. If anybody's going to be called the freaking alphabet, freaking, look at this. Anyway, but this channel didn't always have this name. Once upon a time, this channel went by the name of Hans Wormhat. And Hans Wormhat has some of the best takes out there. I have another Hans Wormhat video that's getting ready to be released here, I think this coming week, where he goes on about how pandas are fake, and there's a whole video about it coming out. So watch that. It'll premiere in a few weeks, or I think this coming week. But it got me a hankering for more Hans nonsense, and I found this. I wish I had been able to cover this during Pride Month, but we'll make do with covering it on second Pride Month. Because my birthday's in July, and Ben's birthday's in July, so we're just gonna say, yeah, it's Pride Month number 2. But this video is called Asteroids Are Fake and Gay, so we're gonna find out what that's all about. Let's go.
How asteroids are...
Come on.
This is a video about how asteroids are fake and gay, and maybe sometimes there is something out there that people can use a telescope and see, but all the stories that they tell us about it are completely fabricated BS stories. And it seems like asteroids in particular, it's like a spook story. They want you to think that there's dangerous things floating out there that could crash into Earth and kill us like the dinosaurs.
Like, the real people who know what they're talking about don't say that. It's just like they'll make fun of, like, seeing in pop culture like that. They show all the asteroids all cluttered together, like in Star Wars. They'll be like, oh, it's not really like that. You can fly through straight through the asteroid belt, the thickest part of it, and when you're in there, you can be far enough away to not see any asteroids next to each other.
Well, dinosaurs are fake too. So let's get into this video. I saw this image on Reddit, and I had a thought. So this is supposed to be an asteroid. My favorite asteroid photo, Ryugu. You know, the elites, the experts are always handing us photos and extraordinary tales, and we're just supposed to believe everything that they say. And there's no way to corroborate, right? None of us can go out to this asteroid Ryugu and confirm that they're not just handing us some other picture and saying, hey, I went to an asteroid.
Yeah, this is just somebody's, the floor in somebody's basement. This is just, yeah.
I guess before I get too sidetracked and all that, I think that asteroids will be relevant when the end happens. And even if you aren't yet religious...
Maybe asteroids are just pieces of the firmament falling down, Hans. Maybe that's what's going on. This is just a piece of the firmament. This Hans is a flat earther, right? Last I knew he was flat earth.
I think everybody should read the book of Revelation and see what... So you may not believe it's true at the time, but I think everybody should know what the book of Revelation says about the end times, so that when it starts unfolding, maybe that'll be enough for some people to finally repent and follow Jesus, as they'll notice, hey, everything that the book of Revelation is talking about is happening. I think it's really obvious that the mark of the beast is on the horizon. But anyways, in the end, the sky's
Mark of
going to
the
open up,
beast.
the firmament is going to open, and stars are going to start crashing down on Earth, and I firmly believe that they're going to sell it as the aliens are launching asteroids at us. They're redirecting asteroids from the asteroid
It's
belt.
the bug invasion from Starship Troopers. Are you doing your part? Would you like to know more? Ask them what the firmament is made of. It's made of asteroid. It's 100% pure asteroid. What's asteroid made of, you ask? Asteroid is made of firmament. Firmament, like in the Bible. Like God mentioned. Yeah, Hans is a bit of everything.
Launching them towards Earth.
I agree, Glober.
I believe that's what the media is going to say. And really, it's the firmament has opened up and the end is here. So, did anybody else have this thought? Because I had this thought right when I saw that image, and I went to the comments, and this was near the top. If this wasn't a reply to the top comment, it was very close to the top. It's actually wild, this photo. Looks so alien, yet eerily familiar. Something about the lighting just does it for me. And then the troll enthusiast had the reply that I was looking for. Looks like it's underwater. Yeah, this just looks like an underwater photo. And there's like layers. There's layers to that. It's not just, oh, they're deceiving us and they're using photos of underwater to pretend to be an asteroid. There's layers because the Bible tells us that there is water up there. The firmament separates the waters below from the waters.
Yes, the waters above. So that's where rain was supposed to come from too, Hans. Do you remember that? There's supposed to be little windows that the rain comes down through. Or you, maybe one of those window, like they've been up there a long time. At least what, the Earth is 6,000 years old, right? God made it 6,000 years ago. So those hinges, they've been up there for a long time, opening and closing. Nobody's maintaining them. I don't ever see anybody go up there and work on them. So they get worn out. One of them doors falls. One of those windows or whatever, window covers, shutters, I guess it would be called, falls, breaks up in the atmosphere. You got asteroids, right? Is that what we're going with? I hope so.
Okay, let's keep going. I'm just going to go through the slides. I think that this is really interesting. So I just started researching this Ryugu asteroid. And I'm just going to show you some coding and some interesting things that they
Has anybody told Hans about Oumuamua? Oh my gosh, he'd probably have a heart attack about that. What the heck's going on in the side chat? Let's get it under control, guys. We're talking asteroids.
Talk about. So, one thing, it's only supposed to be 3,000 feet in diameter. And if it takes a mass as big as Earth itself in order to give us gravity, which is just buoyancy. There's no such thing as mass bending space-time and like sucking things towards it like a vacuum.
This is actually interesting. He pulls this up and he's like so incredulous about it. And clearly
Earth doesn't suck you towards it. It's just that buoyancy is a thing, and anything that's dense, more dense, is going to go down. Do you know what's hilarious? One of the biggest questions that people ask, whenever you bring up the density thing, they're like, well, then why does something fall in a vacuum? Isn't anything more dense than a vacuum? So it still goes down.
Oh my goodness.
I really don't understand that confusion.
Going down. I think that we're talking about he's denying gravity here and placing it with density. Even though the density is the variable on how gravity acts on an object. And buoyancy is the emergent property of gravity acting on the object based on its density. That's what gravity is, or that's what. So you can't have density. Density wouldn't be a thing if it wasn't for weight, right? If it wasn't for substance and gravity. So it's pretty bizarre to claim that the density exists but gravity doesn't. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned that way.
But yeah, there's up and there's down, and more dense goes down. That's all that there is. But anyways, let's suppose that this gravity thing were true. If it takes the entirety of Earth to create Earth gravity, then if there's an object out there that's only 3,000 feet in diameter, that thing's not going to create any gravity. That is going to be negligible. Everything is just going to fly off of it. There would be no gravity, essentially. It would be such a weak force that I do not believe that, even if the stories that they tell us are true, I don't believe that an object that's only that big would be able to just like hold on to all of these little things around. I think that it all would have just blown off by anything. These things are supposed to be spinning and flying, and there's solar wind, and it makes no sense. I don't think there's anything that more interesting. So the bottom here, these are things that they reverse engineer. They clearly want to have this story of like life starts on Earth from like a comet coming in and crashing, and and it's like
the space octopus theory. Is he gonna lean into the space octopus? I hope so.
Really trying to promote this idea of I don't know, it's like cosmic seeds, like an asteroid can be like a cosmic seed.
What you're talking about is the panspermia theory, though. That's not really mainstream. Some ideas about asteroids bringing some of the elements to help life catalyze here on Earth are viable. Like the idea that, a meteor or an asteroid or a comet hit the Earth and brought certain elements from outside of our atmosphere into our atmosphere to allow life to propagate. I thought octopuses were fake, Hans. I don't know if Hans is a fake octopusser or not. He's definitely thinks pandas are fake, sloths, all great apes. He thinks that anteaters, koalas, I say koalas already, a lot of monkeys. Does he think kangaroos are fake? I can't remember. But there's a lot of animals he just doesn't believe in.
It goes out and crashes in to a barren place, and life starts to form all of a sudden. So that's their conclusion, and then they just walk backwards, and they're like, okay, so what are we going to...
That's not a conclusion, that's a hypothesis, my dude. Fake octopusers, what, why? I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with people. You hate anteaters? You ever seen one get playful? Kind of funny. I seen one. There's one in his that this person wakes up in its zoo exhibit, and it's so excited to see its person. But yeah,
that we find on this asteroid to further that storyline. And so that's just the bottom sentence here. The sample showed the presence of organic compounds such as uracil and vitamin B3. So whatever. It has been synthesized under cold laboratory conditions similar to outer space from pyrimidine embedded in water ice and exposed to ultraviolet light. So they're just trying to, they have an agenda here. They're trying to use my science to go like, hey, look, you could have things that you need for life forming out in outer space land. Vitamin B3, it's also another, oh, you need this for life ideas. So I think that it's clearly, this is just part of the propaganda.
Tryptophan, that's what's in
this
turkey.
This gets talked as a diamond shape. So to me, this looks like obvious CGI. Like they're just, what's the...
Why? Why would it be CGI, Hans? I don't understand why. What?
Mario game, Mario Galaxy, where they turn everything into a ball. They just like wrap They make these little tiny planetoid objects in that game. This just
Clearly
looks
we're
like,
living in
somebody
Mario
took a picture of an
Galaxy
ocean
here,
floor
peeps.
and mapped it to a 3D model that somebody made.
Yeah, you don't want to mess
talks
with a
about
giant
diamond. It kind of
anteater.
looks like an eye, like there's a depression in the center.
The agenda to make us think that we're on a spinning ball in space, Miss Lemon.
But yeah, I don't. This really should give everybody odd vibes. It doesn't look like real life at all. It looks like just what I said. Like you have a computer generated.
Ember, thank you for that, by the way. That's what I was trying to say and my words weren't lining out. Yeah, density doesn't give direction. That takes gravity. Right. And buoyancy is just not having enough gravitational pull per density to make something move towards the center mass, right? Yeah. And that's what makes everything scream into a ball. That's what we have.
Generated mesh, and you've just mapped a real photo, probably, of ocean floor, is my guess. And, oh yeah, diamond. Diamond equals 33. This thing gets talked about as diamond shape. I don't know exactly where. Brian May gets involved. Brian May from Queen. I clicked on it to make sure that it's the Brian May from Queen.
Yeah. He's an astrophysicist.
Brian May got involved in this one.
Because he's awesome.
There was a 33 over here. It went from 33 to 24. It's a rubble pile, allegedly. Here's a cool image. Just check this out for a while. Yeah, I don't believe that something that is only 3,000 feet in diameter would create, even if gravity were a thing, which I don't believe in.
Mm-hmm. It pulls itself
I don't think that an
together.
object this small would be able to hold those rocks onto it. It apparently was spinning way faster before. Allegedly, if you just
it's slowing down.
buy whatever story they're selling you. I think this used to be spinning a lot faster. That's why they say it has like a weird diamond shape, because it used to be.
But why is it gay? I want to know why it's gay. Are diamonds gay? Can we get to the gay part?
Spinning a lot faster, and I don't know. They always have a lot of stories. I'm just going through and looking for a magical underwater palace. Minutes. So this was really big. Even the name Ryugu has to do with underwater. What do you know?
My dude, they seriously always name heavenly bodies after mythological things and places and people and figures and creatures. That's how we name things in the heavens, after mythological stuff. Generally speaking, like the common names for them anyway. They all have numbers too that designate their location in the night sky as relevant to Earth, but they generally have a common name as well.
Travels to the palace on the back of a turtle.
Lesbian asteroids.
Mysterious box. Much like Hayabusa 2 returning with samples. So that's very interesting.
Hayabusa.
It's young. Only 8.9 million years old, guys. So young.
That is young, dude.
That's just classic NASA programming. Spitting out numbers that are totally irrelevant. It often reminds me of the show Whose Line Is It Anyways? How
do you know how to calculate the age of a heavenly body? What methodology are you using? I bet you just use the Bible. Everything started when he said, "Let there be light," right?
Oh, the only important thing are that the numbers are humongous. Other than that, they literally just pull numbers out of thin air. It really doesn't matter half the time. And then the other half of the time, they just want to say I'm a 33 or some other number coding. It's not always just 33. Of course, there's going to be people that get more into this.
Yeah, I guess the diamond's a square seen on its side, so it's kind of queer. It's like, ooh, ooh.
Gematria stuff and get really into
Gematria, there you
the
go.
minutia of really heavily number-coded things. But I think 9 times out of 10, they're just pulling numbers out of thin air, and it's kind of irrelevant to the situation.
But how is it gay? That's what we're here to find out.
There was some interesting stuff in here, so I'm going to just go through.
Yeah.
Okay, the images from the camera of Mascot, which is called Mascam. Muscam.
It's Mass cam. The camera of mascot is called the mass cam. Goodness gracious, this
Images
guy,
from the
I
camera,
swear.
which is called Muscam. Okay. Cauliflower-like, crumbly surface.
We could probably go get some of it. Bring it back home.
Crystals shaped like coral reefs. So here we have another underwater reference.
Shaped like? Somebody said shaped like a ball. Would you say we have another baseball reference?
These crystals likely formed in liquid water. So I guess they're trying to say that there was some talk, oh, maybe Ryu
Oh, and he definitely would, yeah. Now that I think about it, he would just lean right into that and say, yeah, that's what this means.
is an old comet or something. Like comets when they lose all their ice or whatever. And this is totally mixing things. Comets are really interesting. A really interesting astronomical, like in reality.
This is really interesting, and your incredulity is bizarre. Like this is one of the most interesting things I've read today, and I just got done reading about freaking MOAs and stuff. But the parent body had a drier surface and wetter interior after the collision of the parent body with a smaller asteroid. The interior and surface material were mixed. Today, Ryugu has both interior and parent body surface material on the surface. So you can see both materials from both bodies before the collision. This is really cool. This is like the coolest thing I've read all day, and you're like, that's not real.
Really weird.
Oh,
because
yeah?
They act in wacky ways. They look exactly like flashlights being shown underwater. And totally contrary to what they would tell you, there's all sorts of asteroids that are, or not asteroids, there's all sorts of comets that go...
But Lockbeard, cowboys wear rhinestones. Cowboys are the least gay, right? Cowboys are tough guys. Dry surface and wet interior equals gay. Well, I mean, you're not wrong.
go really, really close to the sun, which totally contradicts their ice nature. And so comets are an interesting phenomenon, and they show signs, and a lot of comets have happened in weird times, and some comets have
Of course, he doesn't believe this, which is based on science and observation and math and everything, but he believes that the comets foretell future events. Keeping y'all up to date. Cowboys are very gay.
big year periods that they know that it's going to come back. But yeah, there are some weird things about comets. I don't believe what they say about them, obviously. I mean, this type of stuff, it fascinates me, and then I just know, hey, all truth shall be revealed. Our minds are going to get blown when we all learn about the truth of cosmology, what really is up there.
What's really up there, guys? Yeah, what's really up there? Is it Jesus? Is that what we're supposed to believe, that it's Jesus? I think that's the idea.
And maybe asteroids are like a star that kind of stopped shining for the most part. And that could be a thing. Who knows? This was interesting. I just picked this slide because one thing that people, they just take the bait when it comes to the experts. And
that's like they say the end times you'll know because there's wars and rumors of wars, Glober Mommy, right? Like, when has there not been wars and rumors of wars? Like, as long as there's been humans, that's been the status.
And they totally ignore reality. This is how reality works. There's real life, and then we can use mathematics and statistics to model real life. And the model is at best a guess for what may happen. And then that's how modeling actually works.
Yeah, the model's running the numbers on the way that the physics of the world interact and putting it on paper. That's the model. Or putting it in a computer or whatever. Or building it in a reconstruction. That's the model. The model is the numbers. The model is the math. Math is real. It's the language of the universe.
The false buying into the science always has the right answer. When science is your religion, models prove reality.
And just to be clear, I mean that math is the language of the universe, not that base 10 is the language of the universe. A lot of people seem to think so because we all humans use base 10. There's a reason we use base 10, right? Personally, I think that there's other math systems that might work better for measuring the universe, but we use what we got.
They go backwards. They do the opposite of what is the truth and what makes sense. What makes sense is you observe reality, you build your model, and you hope that your model does a good job representing reality. And then you could do tests to see, is this model good, is it not? But models will always fall short from reality because you're modeling it. It's not
Yeah, because if it wasn't a model, if it didn't fall short, it would just be the thing.
complete representation. You're missing all sorts of variables. You're making assumptions. But when science is your religion, they allow that to go backwards. A model proves reality in cases like this. Of course, that's not true, but I'm just saying that if you totally believe every pop science thing and take it as truth, you're allowing models to dictate what your reality is. A simulation of the formation was performed, just a simulation, which showed that the parent body accumulated 2 million. They're going to tell you that they know exactly what happens because somebody made a simulation somewhere. I mean, that's enough. I've said enough about that.
Simulation.
So
Simulation is just is just a model. A simulation and a model are going to be the same thing. And the only difference between a simulation has a fourth dimension. It's got the temporal dimension, right? Am I right about that? There's somebody who's where's Dr. Tapioca Weasel? I need a physicist to tell me about physics modeling. But I think that's the simulation is just a model in motion or a model with a fourth dimension.
They had rovers, a bunch of rovers. They talk about Minerva here, an owl, Minerva. Unfortunately, my images got a little mixed at the end here.
I'm surprised he knows that reference, though.
From one phone to another without the images getting...
I'm surprised he knows Minerva and owl connection. I guess he's a conspiracy theorist. They look into a lot of mythology and stuff, I suppose. But why does he act all shocked to find out that we're naming stars and asteroids and stuff after mythology? If he knows about, does he know Minerva's up there in the sky?
Mixed up. It's really annoying. You'd think, that we can land on an asteroid. You'd think that they'd figure that out by now.
So yeah, what about dimensions? So Ember, yeah, you help me crack this. So I'm saying that a simulation would be a model in 4 dimensions, right? A model that in 4 dimensions, a model that's changing over time. But it's still a model, still a simulation. The simulation would still be a model, is what I'm saying. Like all simulations would be a model, but not all models would be simulations, kind of deal.
There's 13 surface features. They love to just name things and go on and on. It's the same thing with the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs aren't even real, but there's gonna be people who it's their job to come up with the big names and go on and on about it had this going on and that going on. They love spinning a tale. And the more details and BS you can come up with something about it, then it must be true. The theme of features is children's stories. I thought that was really telling. These are children's stories.
Well, it's mythology.
Alice's Wonderland
folklore.
Is where the mascot landed. Even the name, calling it a mascot, is kind of weird. Jax sounds evil.
A mascot looks like it's a acronym for something. I think you're missing something there. I think you're missing a layer. Let me see. Mascot lander. I'm looking up right now. Yeah, mobile asteroid surface compact orbital lander, or orbital, or onboard, not orbital, onboard. You got part of the anagram here, mobile asteroid surface. So, and I'll show you guys, so I'm not talking out my butt. All right, yeah, mobile asteroid surface scout. So this, yeah, it's for scout. Kind of weird way to do an anagram, but I didn't make it.
This is Wonderland. So Minerva, owl, just reminds me of the
Bohemian
Grove.
Grove.
And, you know, speaking of outer space...
There's no doubt in my mind at all that Hans watches InfoWars. Like, no doubt at all that that's what he spends his time doing. And I'm sure he thinks Alex Jones is being treated unfairly and it's a conspiracy and everything because he was on to something.
Space being fake and gay. The Bohemian Grove people, that's the most gay people. You know, speaking... just reminds me of the Bohemian Grove stuff. And, you know, speaking of outer space being fake and gay, the Bohemian Grove people, that's the most gay people in existence. There's a hilarious quote of Ronald Reagan saying that the most homo thing ever, the Bohemian Grove is the most supremely gay thing in existence.
I thought that was Nixon that said that, and there was a recording of him saying it.
I picked
It's literally, you know, it was in San Francisco, founded in the 60s, where queer culture was underground and you couldn't talk about it publicly. You had to keep that shit on the down low, and if you had enough money, you could go out to the Bohemian Grove where there's no hold bars and you can have whatever you want because you're rich and powerful. It was the same as it was. I don't want to compare it to Epstein Island, but yeah, kind of like where rich people go to do depraved things. Bohemian Grove's kind of the same situation.
this image for the 77. They like the sevens.
Oh no! Robert broke the code! Bohemian Grove, Brian May, Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh my God, Queen. What about the Queen died? The Queen died this last year. Oh my gosh, it's all coming together.
There were more 33 coding somewhere, but, you know, whatever. It's a round shape, kind of. The Western Bulge. See, high-speed rotation of present day. So present one is highly rotating. I guess they want you to think that they can shoot something from Earth, fly out, find this tiny little thing, 3,000, out in space. That should be nearly impossible to find.
Yeah, because you're bad at math, but somebody who's really good at math can do it. Like, easy. These people that work in physics and astronomy, they're freaking fantastic at doing math. That's why they excel in that field. Yeah, I can't do it. I couldn't get a lander to an asteroid. My math's not that good. But I bet there's people that can do things that would just blow your mind with math that you think are completely impossible. It reminds me of the thing where you can reflect the laser off that reflecting pad on the moon. It's only so big. You can, if you know that you can do the math just right for your location, you can make it bounce off of it and right back at you and measure it. All right, Amber, you have a good one.
In that thing. And not only that, it's spinning really fast, but they can land on it, they can take samples from it and shoot back here, no problem.
Yeah.
The
Again, just because you're bad at math doesn't mean they are.
Here's just more of that Minerva stuff, the Owl Shrine. And the Bohemian
Minerva.
Grove is protected by a sophisticated security team year-round. The Bohemian Club employs ex-military, military,
Sophisticated with their signs and fences.
NASA, all of this stuff. Weird that these high-up people would be referencing Minerva and the owl, and this was kind of a weird thing. Prior to the sample capsule return, the amount of sample was expected to be at least 0.1 grams. I was like, that seems so small. Why would you go through all the effort of doing that and then get such a small sample? But then in the end, they actually turned out to be 5.4. 50 times more than anticipated. Man, their cup runneth over with dust, space dust. They only thought they'd get
the important
0.1.
thing about that is they have to be very careful. Again, we just talked about the math, right? Again, I'm not saying I can do the math. I'm just saying we have to understand that there's math here, that they calculate the weight all the way down to that 0.1 grams for variables in their numbers that they've input. So,
but they're getting an amazing amount. I don't know. Did they just write that into the story because they wanted it to be like a resounding success? I don't know. Is there number coding involved? I don't know. Are they just pulling numbers out of their butt because that's all they have to do when it's made up? When things are made up, it's so easy. That's
like, I don't understand this math, so nobody else should be able to either. That's what I'm hearing from you, Hans.
what's hilarious about one of the lowest level, like, arguments against NASA stuff is people say it would be harder to fake it than it would be to just go to the moon. That is the dumbest argument I've ever heard in my life. It's so much easier to just fake things than to actually do it. To just pull numbers out of thin air is way easier than to actually do things.
I always heard the meme that they did hire Kubrick to fake the moon landing for him, but he was such a perfectionist. He demanded that they had to do it on site, on location.
Anybody can pull numbers out of thin air. Anybody can reverse engineer math equations where you put the answer you want and then you go backwards and then you just say, oh, this is the data that I collected. That's easier than actually collecting data that fits your agenda. You just work backwards.
I thought you had a wrench. Maybe I was looking at the transposition.
Oh, this was the other 33. It touched down briefly on February 22nd, fired a projectile, and then moved back. So you gotta believe they launched this thing out to a asteroid. They're landing on it. They're performing an experience. They're bouncing back off of it. And then do they go back? Who knows? Oh, yeah, it went back after several weeks. So it went down on the 22nd, briefly, flew back, and then back down on the 11th in July. So that's a 33, 22... 11.
Oh, we got some numbers. 33, 22, 11. Does anybody play Powerball? What the hell happened? I didn't see any N-word. What the hell? Who's dropping that? Oh. What'd I miss? Why y'all gotta be like this in my chat? Come on now. I like to have fun on Saturday mornings. It's not fight and drop frickin' slurs. Holy shit. Alex Jones wasn't fat. Is that what we're talking about? I'm not... Okay, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, continuing on.
Of February, and then down here, the 11th of July. Man, that's amazing. They touch down, do some experience, fly back off of it, touch back down. Where's all the live footage of this? They better have put a camera, recorded all of this stuff. Why would they not give us? And here's where you'll see. If this was real science...
I don't know what happened, but I trust your judgment.
Real people who love the truth don't charge people money for it, and they share it abundantly for free with anybody. Where's all the raw footage of this stuff? They should be plastering this raw footage everywhere. Everybody should have the entirety of the takeoff to... This is millions of dollars being put into this stuff, and you're telling me they can't just stick a camera on there and give us the raw footage? They will never give you the raw footage because it doesn't exist, because it's all a lie. And the data that they collect is just cooked up. They get some scientist to cook up the data, some satanic NWO scientist to cook up the data to hand out to universities. It's not really collected in my outer space. Somebody cooks it up and hands it out and says, interpret this data. That's how the magic trick works. Its mission was short. I just picked this because it's not...
Why am I not seeing all the chat? That's weird. I'm hearing y'all talking about conversations I don't even see. About Alex Jones. Oh. There's Alex Jones truthers in this world. I think he's kind of an awful person for what he did to those people who lost their kids. Could you imagine?
Nonsensical. This is nonsensical. That's not how they would do this. Its mission was short-lived as was planned. The lander only had 16 hours of battery power and no way to recharge. That's nonsensical. They wouldn't make it like that, but they can put stories...
Right. I want to. What I want to do is I want to show Hans one of these drone shows. I don't know if you all saw any of the drone show footage from the 4th of July stuff. Way cooler than any fireworks. Yeah.
Like this into their little things like this into their stories because they can say anything and people believe anything, even though this goes against any common sense that you would put all the effort to go out there and only give it 16-hour battery life. And I think that they just have fun writing nonsense into it because they know that people will believe anything. That's why I think that they do this. It gets people to be gullible and stupid. The more nonsense that they can write into their stories that come from an authoritative standpoint, they can get people to believe anything because you've lived your life believing all sorts of things that go against common sense. That is it for this video. Check this out. This looks like bottom of the ocean.
It's the bottom of the ocean.
So maybe real footage, but probably of their model going down to the bottom of the ocean somewhere. That's what it looks like to me.
Okay.
A lot of these images just look like underwater images.
That's hard. All right.
Hope you enjoyed the video. God bless everyone.
Oh, I did. You are beyond. My goodness. So, what do y'all think? Math hard, Hans. I can't do it, so no one else can figure out how to get something to do going to space either, because I can't figure it out. Anyway, yeah. So that was our little our sci-fails for today. Stick around here because we do have some Breeze Bestiary coming up in just a second. But for my folks watching this in the evening with me, please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time.
Well, I don't know how many years on this earth I got left. I'm gonna get real weird with it. Asteroids are fake! Asteroids are gay! Diamond Eagles 33 are moving on to primate! Pandas are fake! They're furries and suits! From the fake panda the tails to the fake panda suits! My scam! My scam! My scam! My scam! My scam! My scam! My are fake, asteroids are gay. My scam, my scam, my scam.